New York, it's executive budget season, and I'm proud to announce that our city's budget is fully balanced. This budget isn't just about numbers on a page. It determines if our libraries get funded, if a street is safe to cross, if snow is actually shoveled after a storm. And you deserve to know exactly how we got here. We inherited a $12 billion budget deficit.
We are speaking about a fiscal crisis at the scale greater than the Great Recession.
Was the Great Recession? Great Recession. Many said the only way out of this was slashing services and passing an austerity budget. We rejected that. After months of painstaking work, that deficit is now zero. Our city is now on firm financial ground. We achieved this in two major ways: increasing revenue and support from Albany, and cutting waste and finding savings here in New York City. Thanks to Governor Hochul, State Senate Majority Leader Andrea Stewart-Cousins, Assembly Speaker Carl Hastie, and months of organizing from New Yorkers, we tax the rich. That tax alone will raise $500 million per year. And that's not all. Thanks to Governor Hochul and our partners in Albany, we finally got a better deal for New York City. We're getting billions more from the state to help tackle the gap. At the same time, we've been poring over the city budget to identify savings. We reduced unnecessary overtime and found smarter ways for government to deliver services. This all added up to $1.77 billion in total savings. Our budget isn't just about closing deficits. It's about building a city New Yorkers can actually afford. On day 8 of our administration, we announced a historic partnership with Governor Hochul to finally deliver universal childcare. That's $1.2 billion in new funding from Albany. And this was just the beginning. Investments in citywide trash containerization, cheaper groceries, safer streets, relief for taxi drivers are all on the way. And we're increasing funding for libraries, parks, and cultural institutions. I promise to make sure you were part of this budget process every step of the way. This is your city. These are your tax dollars. And this budget should reflect your priorities. We're proud to put forward a budget for the working people of this city. And we're going to do it again next year, and next year, and next year, and next year.
All right, welcome to the Absurdity Space. I'm Forrest Miller. I'm joined by Christina Oakes. And yeah, that was Zoran Mondami's latest budget video. And I thought,
what were all the other New York City mayors doing? And of course, I'm going viral on Twitter by saying this: giving money to Israel, giving money. I should also say giving money to cops, cutting like. It's kind of crazy how Zoran's like, I'm not going to cut any programs. He managed to find like.
It does cut the library. I think that's not exactly true. It does cut the library budget a bit. I'm pretty sure.
No, like I'm talking about like Eric Adams, like he was doing that and giving money to like the NYPD and whatever. But like Zoran's like, they didn't have to like do any like extreme cuts to like necessary programs to actually like get rid of their $12 billion debt. Like that's.
In 5 months. I mean, that's pretty crazy. I mean, the entire point of saddling him with that budget, right, was to make sure that he couldn't really do anything to upset the general order that they've kind of maintained for the last, like 40 years in the city, which is like essentially austerity budget after austerity budget. I mean, when you think about New York City, like before the 70s, when famously Gerald Ford
got really bad in the 70s in New York, crime and blackouts.
There was that famous both of those, but there was a famous moment where all the budgets kind of came all the budgets kind of like at the same time, they were all due, like all the loans that they had taken out from the city's bankers, and the bankers decided not to pay. So I think it was Ed Koch who was mayor at the time, or it was Abraham Beam. I can't remember which one it was, but one of the two went to Gerald Ford and asked, "Hey, like, this was kind of looked at as." I mean, you can see it on the title of if you're not on this space and you're on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/the Absurdity Space. You can,
they're probably gonna name another. He's doing like LaGuardia level shit. Like everyone was like, LaGuardia was so good for New York that they named an airport after him.
Yeah, but so basically there was that moment where this is kind of seen as like the beginning of American neoliberalism, because the beginning of more international neoliberalism was obviously Chile and the coup in Chile. But there was that moment in I think I want to say it was 76, right before, or 75, like right before Gerald Ford got thrown out for Jimmy Carter, that they went to Gerald Ford and he famously said, there was that headline that's like the Ford to City go die or whatever, or or go fuck yourself. I think it was go fuck yourself, but there's that famous headline. or go to hell. No, it was for the city, go to hell. But it's that famous moment where he says like, no, we're gonna impose austerity on New York City from the outside. And since that moment, the mayor has become less and less powerful in New York City. So you're kind of, if you get rid of that austerity and you get rid of that, that paradigm, I guess you're kind of grabbing power back for the executive branch in the city as well.
Yeah, man, imagine if Mom Downey was born here and he ran for president. He would be the first president since like FDR to actually try to get shit done. Like he'd be like, "Fuck Congress, I'm doing what I like." Oh man, what could have been? So speaking of which, AOC 2028, I've embraced it. I don't care anymore. I'll volunteer, work for a campaign. I'll be hopefully up in New Jersey at that time, so I can be like heavily involved in the campaign.
At least you get out of the house.
Let's do this. But you do videos for her, but we'll do it for us, you and I. But we're looking for a campaign.
I want to see how the whole field shakes out. I think AOC is probably the best choice. That really. And
AOC John Ossoff ticket, because everyone's like Pete Buttigieg. I'm like, nah, man, John Ossoff or any Bashir, because we unfortunately need a token white dude who can like appeal to the moderate. But even then, like, I don't know. I feel like Andy Bashir is a good case of like, he's the governor in a Democratic governor in a red state.
I feel like John Ossoff and Pete Buttigieg are kind of like that meme that's like there's like from Futurama.
All the white dudes who look alike.
Well, no, it's the Futurama thing where it's the two guys meeting and it's like Jack Johnson and John Jackson.
Yeah.
I feel like they're that meme come to life.
Yeah. I feel like John Ossoff would be a good VP just because like he's done pretty well in Georgia, despite everything. He also, everyone's like, oh, the Epstein class is anti-Semitic trope. I'm like, John Ossoff came up with that.
Yeah. Well,
if you do it, like, I'm like, guys, where are we going at here? It's not some leftist term.
He, I don't know if it was him or if it was Rokana, but one of the two came up with Epstein class as like a moniker, which there's been like a lot of debate on, I don't know, online about like whether Epstein class, like whether it obscures the fact that we're talking about like the elite, the billionaire class that are kind of the ones on top, because it's like there's plenty of people that aren't connected to Epstein that are still in that class. But at the same time, it's like, it's the class of people that would have been around Epstein, even if, they're in a different part of the country.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I'm excited. I'm happy for New York City because all the rich people who threatened to move are probably thinking, oh, we don't have to move after all. They didn't do anything to us. No shit.
Well, they did the pied-à-terre tax where it's like, I definitely said that wrong, but yeah, it's.
I mean, the landlords are pissed, and it's like you own like 100 buildings. Go fly a kite, do something. You have plenty of money for rent freeze. It's fine. Like, it's so funny seeing like these interviews with these landlords. Like, I worked hard. I'm like, doing what? Buying buildings and getting them renovated? I'm like, you didn't do anything. Those are other workers who did all that shit, not you. You just got lucky and knew how to had money to buy properties to rent. I'm really just sick of like rich people whining. Rich people. What do you got to whine about?
I did like the guy that said tax the rich is the same as saying from the river to the sea. He's like
oh my god. I would be like, I'm gonna go slap that guy and film it. Like,
did you see that video?
Yeah. I remember that. I'm like
that was like a week and a half ago or something.
Rich people, what about our needs?
But I love the idea that that a rich guy is going, think about billionaires as just like Israel.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I don't know.
On the other side of I guess the Democratic Party, I just find this clip so fucking funny. You've definitely seen this, but I'd still want to watch it again.
Oh God.
But you actually want to ban. Yeah, that doesn't seem.
Yeah, I just think I mean, as I'm a member of the Agriculture Committee, and I really stand with our farmers now. And now, of course, we don't want like the factory farm situation. Absolutely opposed to aminal cruelty. But for me,
aminal cruelty.
Kinds of
aminal
kind of.
What is he British?
Would be a great opportunity, but for me right now, like it's.
But you want to ban it? I mean, shouldn't people have the right to eat it?
It's like actively. I mean, if people have a chance to for that, but overall, for me, I think, someone that's really, I mean, we are just, I thought, the really highly processed food. I mean, that's exactly the essence of that.
But you actually want to ban.
Aminal cruelty.
I'm so sorry. We probably should have picked Connor Lamb. It's so funny that the left can never hear the end of liberals saying, "Oh, what about Fetterman?" I'm like, here's the thing that differentiates us leftists from you liberals is we own our mistake of supporting John Fetterman. Once his voting record was showing he wasn't some progressive bonafide, we dropped him like that. You guys still cling on to like
it's the fact that,
and cinemas and all these other types.
He definitely wasn't the guy that he sold himself as, but at the same time, his reactionary side came out after a stroke. He had a more progressive. He was a more progressive record before his fucking stroke. And that happens. There are a lot of people that have become far more reactionary after a stroke, which is
I mean, look at Sophia Petrillo from the Golden Girls. The stroke destroyed the part of her brain that filtered what she says, so she was saying anything, and we love it for it. We just love it.
But Fetterman can't even talk anymore. That's the crazy part. It's crazy to be because it happened the day he won the primary. He had that stroke, and it's since that time he hasn't been able to string words together, and they still put him on TV, and it's really hard to listen to him.
Yeah, that's why they put him on Fox News, because it's Fox News will eat that shit up, because it's oh, you're a Democrat who doesn't like the left. Okay, but then he's I'd be a terrible Republican. I'm what are you talking about? You criticize the far left of the Democratic Party all the time, what little of it exists, and you vote with Republicans to enable Trump's agenda. So what then? Especially today with the Iran the war resolution shit. It's
Connor Lamb was pretty terrible. His policy ideas were, I don't think they were that far afield. I remember at the time Fetterman's website was the most vague thing you've ever seen, and he was kind of going on the fact that as lieutenant governor he had built up this record of being seeming at least very progressive. But what can the fucking a lieutenant governor really do? I mean, he ran with Josh Shapiro and some other. Josh Shapiro was AG at the time, and with Josh Shapiro he ran this they were going through all the people that were inmates, and you could have a what do you call it, like a retrial, almost hearings where they would go, hell, this person, does the governor give them a pardon? And they would give a list of pardonable people to the governor at the time. And Josh Shapiro and John Fetterman were on opposite sides of most of the times, where Shapiro wouldn't want to give them a pardon because he's running for governor, and Fetterman wanted to build up his progressive bona fides, and so he would try to pardon pretty much everybody, and they were going back and forth. So now they're enemies, which is funny because I feel they're very similar.
Yeah, they're both very much pro-Israel, but I'm assuming John Fetterman doesn't think it's cool that he covered up a murder.
My phone autocorrects Letterman. I don't think John Fetterman would give a fuck about that. John Fetterman literally pulled a gun on a random black jogger.
Yeah,
John Fetterman could have been the guy in jail for a murder when he was
but it's just kind of weird that it's oh, this was a suicide. It's how do you stab yourself like this a bunch of times?
Ellen Greenberg.
Yeah,
she was like a teacher.
I would. Yeah, she was a teacher because it was his friend.
Yeah, well, it was the son of one of the big. It was his friend, but it was the son of one of the biggest
of a donor, right?
Well, I think he was friends with the son, they were very close. But it was one of the biggest donors in Pennsylvania, and the guy was look, we need to there was all of these things at the crime scene too, where it was they didn't do a real autopsy, even though they did find because you could do a private autopsy. You cannot
stab yourself the way that just it's common sense, but they're it's a suicide. I'm how do you do that to yourself as a suicide?
But it also shows you, having powerful parents versus having very powerful parents versus having parents that are voters, citizens, but don't have any specific money or power or anything. Her parents paid for a private autopsy, which is how they found the stab wounds on the back of her.
Yeah, back of her skull, her back, and it's you cannot do that to yourself with a knife. But
if you stab someone in the back of the head, it has to go through the skull. That's how. So there's literally damage marks, or
there are more paint quicker ways to kill yourself, and I feel putting yourself through all that just
you literally can't do it.
Exactly. So it's that's nothing, because Josh Shapiro's so fucking mad now because he's doing I feel
the only way to do it, I guess, if you found a way to attach a knife to the back here,
and just go this, like that.
But
Yeah,
even then, I think it would be like
that's too much
excruciatingly
work.
painful. Yeah. I don't know.
I
don't know why I'm trying to find some kind of desperate rationale that. Well, I guess you could have gone.
Yeah, but it's just so funny to me that people.
The guy had a history of domestic abuse too. That was the other thing.
Yeah.
It's like in a lot of these cases, right? Like there's these warning signs ahead of time. You're like, oh, this person's abusive. You know, they've hit women before. They've screamed at women before.
OJ.
Like, yeah, well, OJ's definitely a example of that. But
he murdered my sister's friend's aunt, for God's sakes. Like, come on now.
There's always like signs that the person, is highly violent. And like in this case, the guy had signs that he was highly violent, and they were still like, oh, I'm sure she killed herself. No note or anything though. Like,
like it's funny because like Josh Shapiro's kind of going scorn Earth for not being Kamala's like VP pick, and then like he's got a Democrat, like I guess the guy that's running against Chris Rapp running, and like they're trying to do like a fucking Jim Clyburn where he wants to only have like one district to himself in Pennsylvania, and I'm like, no, don't be doing that because you're gonna get, because what if Pennsylvania just stays completely red? Like we cannot be trying to. Democrats are losing a lot in the South right now. It would be a bad idea for like swing states to be like, let me have only one Democratic, safe district. And I'm like, no, we can't be doing that. Not right now. No. And also Josh Shapiro is very much just being a piece of shit right now, just being so vindictive and
well, he's trying to get the unions to endorse Chris Rapp's opponent. And then they talked about this other thing where there was I can't remember the guy's name, but he was like a firefighter that was running in Pennsylvania, and he was running on like a progressive platform. I think he was like a member of the firefighters union, and Josh Shapiro was working behind the scenes and actually had his tried to get his union to endorse a Republican rather than endorsing him.
Again, Democrats, everyone's like, oh, the left is what's stopping us from defeating Republicans. I'm like, are you sure about that? Because I feel like some Democrats, moderate Democrats, are really trying to help Republicans get elected.
I want to get your take on the AOC Marjorie Taylor Greene thing, but I guess I'll play the clip of her talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't know. I felt like I had thoughts about some of this, but I was.
Yeah, we're probably on the same boat here.
And I care about results. I care about results. Now, there are certain areas where I don't think that we should ignore some folks' record on some of these issues, right? It's about where we trust intent, where we trust where those outcomes are going. I personally do not trust someone like Marjorie Taylor Greene, a proven bigot and anti-Semite, on the issues of what is good for Gazans and Israelis. I don't. I don't think that it benefits our movement in that instance to align the left with white nationalists. I don't think it serves us. And so I think it's about looking at the context, the place, the results, the outcomes, intentions, and where we think that train would go. But as far as what someone says about me, I could care less. And I think it's really about what our outcomes are. And to be honest, there are some areas where things will not get done if they're partisan because they are anti-establishment. There is bipartisan consensus on keeping and protecting stock trading in Congress. And so it's going to require a massive bipartisan consensus of people willing to come together across those differences to get it done.
Yeah, so my thing is, no offense to some of the left on here, but y'all doing what TYT's doing. What they have been doing is like giving people like Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, and Marjorie Taylor Greene a pass because they're apparently like anti-war. But like, what about their positions on like Medicare for all, or women's rights, gay rights, public transportation, college? Like, what about other things besides like a foreign policy thing? I mean, it's easy to claim to be anti-war all of a sudden, knowing that it's popular.
it's specifically the anti-Israel thing, which I think is more a sign of like the sea change that's happened with the way Americans view Israel and the way that Americans view, the well, not just the genocide in Gaza, but also the Iran war and how our foreign policy is being dictated kind of.
But are they authentic though? And they're like, I support Palestine because I actually believe in the Palestinian cause, not because I actually hate Jewish people. Like, that's where I'm like, okay, but where's this coming from? And like you said, Forrest, Marjorie Taylor Greene doesn't have any power anymore. She could have stayed in Congress, but she saw Trump kind of like abandon her. She had no political future.
Yeah, that was my biggest thing with this conversation. It's like at some point
AOC still has voting power.
I just don't get the whole thing about like, thank you, Marjorie Taylor Greene, like Ryan and some other people had, where it was like, she
sacrificed so much in the MAGA movement. I'm like,
in politics, it's fucking stupid to sacrifice yourself, because if you actually care about any of those issues, you're not gonna be able to do anything about it from out of Congress. Now, I do get it if you work for, in some ways, if you work for the federal government as like a staffer, if you're working for a White House and you can resign, and then that's the only way you can really speak out about stuff. But the only way you have a platform as like a representative is to stay in Congress. So already, resigning from Congress was a fucking stupid move. And it actually kind of surprised me, because I've always kind of thought of Marjorie Taylor Greene as like,
someone who would have been there for a long time.
Well, but also just like an opportunist and like a complete opportunist. And I feel like she's actually kind of more stupid than she is opportunistic, because that was a stupid fucking move to resign. It's just gonna you get replaced by someone who, I don't think
more pro-Israel and more conservative and insane than her, which is kind of crazy if you really think about it.
Yeah.
So like,
but I think she's like I was thinking about it the other day. She's like the one person who actually like believed the QAnon stuff and ran for Congress on it, because it's
that's how she got popular, was because of the whole "where we go when we go all" nonsense. I'm like, are we forgetting who she was a few years ago?
But it's like, it's kind of funny. Like she's the one person who like didn't get the fact that when Republicans were signaling about QAnon, it's a signal. You pull it back. None of them actually believed the QAnon shit. It's the crazy fucking people that believed it, that were like, all in for Trump, that were going to all of the rallies. I mean, even they dropped it pretty fast. She's the one person who didn't get that that's like a signaling thing. It's not supposed to be something you believe, your identity, like your ideology, I guess. And she clearly had that as her ideology. Yeah, she also did make $25 million. She was, at the same time as being anti-war, she was quite literally stock trading on defense companies. And because you have a lot of extra information, it's insider trading on what the foreign policy of whatever administration, whether it's the Biden administration or the Trump administration, is going to be. So even while she was talking about the Ukraine war, being like, we shouldn't be, supplying Ukraine with defense weapons or whatever, like she was literally putting money on Raytheon and Lockheed Martin.
Yeah. So anti-war my ass, but like, and I should actually just sort of like elaborate more. But I'm like, guys, this is what the Young Turks are doing, and you guys criticize the Young Turks for this right-wing pivot all the time. But like, they're good on Palestine, awesome, cool. But like, again, there's other issues that again we should be keeping these people at arm's length. Like, say what you want about Ashley St. Clair, but she's like putting in the work. She's even said like the Democratic Party should be more leftist, more progressive. She is trying to start a clean slate, talk shit about people while putting on makeup on TikTok. Like she's out here saying like I'm pro Palestine, I'm pro Medicare for all. Like she's out here like
she's the first conservative woman to actually learn how to put on makeup.
Yeah. I'm like, go for her for never doing the MAGA makeup thing. But it's just so funny that it's like, people who are not smart like us, we are, will say like, oh, Candace Owens has changed her mind on Palestine. I'm like,
don't be talking about my new friend Candace Owens.
Yeah. For those who don't know, Forrest is now famous because Candace Owens promoted his one tweet about fucking Rhythmless Nation, Erica Kirk, and Eminem.
That was so fucking surreal. I was like, because I got sent it from you, and then also from Benjamin, on Facebook, and he's like, look, Candace, and I was like, where the fuck did that come from?
I was like, oh no, Forrest, no.
I'm gonna become like that. I'm gonna become like that one guy that Ian Carroll or whatever, that's like that hangs out in literally like was living in Candace Owens' basement for a while.
Yeah. Those who don't know, Forrest is actually live now from Candace Owens' basement. I mean, literally, you are live from a basement, right?
Well, right now I'm
Kind of.
upstairs. Yeah,
Okay.
the basement's getting renovated, but it's been getting renovated for an entire year, and we haven't fixed it. So,
Yeah. But yeah, it's just so weird to see. So again, because when it comes to AOC, there are certain people that we can call grifters on the left who will jump at the chance to like really like go in on her and prop up like bad actors. And we've seen it since like Forced to Vote because people assumed that AOC was going to come in waving a hammer and sickle flag when she became Congress. And I understand their perspective, but like here's the thing. AOC good policies, bad in politics. She's really trying to be like that in between like the establishment and like the progressive left. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's hard for her. Like a lot of people are like, she should be endorsing candidates. And I do agree she's not doing a whole lot to endorse really good candidates.
you guys talking about the guy who wanted to go hard and see what tampon Gino. That guy's name is not Nick Cannon.
No, that's the dude with all those kids.
His name is Nick Lutsko. That's his name. Imagine Nick Cannon.
Yeah.
Nick Cannon's the guy from Wildin' Out that has a million kids. But yeah, no, I agree with you. And I don't know. I also think that it's like it's easier to criticize someone that you know is going to listen to you, which I think in AOC's case, it's like
that's why the left does go hard on Democrats because we shouldn't have to be begging for them to do anything. Like that's
I just think with AOC in particular, like she's very online. She's very plugged into being online, and people know that if they criticize her enough,
she'll say something.
She might be someone that actually like.
Well, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, don't fuck with that. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not as online as she is.
It's like so you end up having these it's like the bigotry of small differences they call it, like where it's like the closest people to you ideologically are the ones that you get the most angry at because you know that those people are the most likely to be able to those people are the most likely to be able to hear you. I mean, I think it's the same with how angry like some of the MAGA people get at Republicans. It's like you're way more likely to be heard by someone who's ideologically aligned with you.
Yeah.
Or be able to pressure them in a certain direction. But then I think people take it too far, and then it's like I don't know. They can't
do anything good in their eyes, and it drives me nuts because again, like AOC is a perfect opportunity to grift off of because people have like this idea. It's kind of like how liberals online have like this vision of what a terminally online leftist looks like. And it's like white, young, male socialist. And it's like, no, you're also ignoring black leftists, right? And then they also think like, oh, black leftists just go with whatever we say. And it's like, no, there are more theorists in the world than like Karl Marx. Some of the like what made me a leftist was listening to like black leftist theorists and listening to the Black Panthers and all that. And it's like, oh God, it's annoying.
You know that line? It's like I've never read Marx's Capital, but I have the marks of capital down my back.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I also think like I don't know. I'm tired of like identity politics things where it's like because there's no such thing as like a monolithic black vote or a monolithic white vote or like a monolithic
or any monolithic anything vote.
People act like these blocks of votes are like monolithic, and I want to get past that as like a society, which it's very funny that like I feel like in some ways like national politics, it's like a lot of politicians have started trying to with populism or something like that, right? Like do something for the majority that's not looking at those like levels of identity politics. But then in New York City, that last fucking mayoral race was the most identity politics I've ever seen.
I am black, I'm Jew, I'm gay. And it's like, nah, dude, you're Italian.
Especially Cuomo is finding new subsets of identities that he was trying to tap into, like Sunni, like Sunnis for Cuomo. He's like, you had those guys that were standing outside. They were like, oh, we're like a bunch of like they were all Muslims. They were like Sunni extreme, like Sunni Islamist style Muslim, like incredibly conservative. They were clearly because they clearly were dressed incredibly conservative. Like they were conservative Sunnis, and they were like, oh, I don't trust that Zoran is a Shia, and it's like, do not bring sectarian like Middle Eastern politics into
I mean that's part of the conflicts in the Middle East to begin with. We don't want to get that shit in here. I mean, my God, that was a big deal after 9/11. But like also too, like another thing I wanted to talk about is Abdul not being a doctor physician, even though he is technically, like it's so funny. Like I see like so many speaking of identity, like if a black man lied about being a doctor. It would end his career. I'm like, but he is one. Just because he doesn't perform, that doesn't mean he's
Egyptian.
not.
He's literally from Egypt, so he's like, he literally is technically African. Well, I mean, he's American, obviously.
Yeah, but like, it's just so funny that people are like, technically, he's never actually performed as a doctor, therefore he's not this. I'm like, oh my god, guys, it's literally that scene from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. A PhD, or if you have a specific label, you are technically you are a doctor, you're a physician. That doesn't mean just because you don't perform surgery doesn't mean anything. I mean, my sister wants to get a PhD. Or doctor, like whatever, one day. And she's a PE teacher. Does that mean that technically on the term? Yeah, she is. She would be. But
this is the reason that I support Abdul Al-Sayed more than anything else.
Of course, you got to hang out with him. Yeah. Lucky you. Okay, don't rub it in our faces. But you know what I mean? Like, it's so funny that they're doing what you said about the Jill Biden thing. Like, oh, she's not a doctor. I'm like, but she is though. It's the label. She's got the degrees. Just because Abdul's never perform surgery does not mean he's not like there's other things that you can do in that career with that degree, and that's not MD for people.
He has his MD, he has his PhD, and he went to Oxford as like a Rhodes Scholar. So he's like one of the most educated people that you could possibly really like in the field of public health. The thing is, he went into public health rather than like private practice or like even kind of a public practice, because he became like the director of the public health sector of like Michigan's largest county. Like he was the guy that was in charge of that, especially during COVID. And it's like, it doesn't like, it's just different like parts of the health and like not industry, but like health sector, right? Like, because you can
as long as you got the degree, you have the label, you have the option to do whatever you want with it, and he did something else with it. That doesn't take away the fact that yes, he is a doctor, he's a physician, he's MD. It's kind of racist in my opinion.
Yeah, well, it's also just I think that number one, to
cling on to something.
Number one, like McMorrow and pretty much like everybody in that race, right? Like they're
losing to Liz Smith, for God's sakes. The Andrew Cuomo's attack woman when it came to like the women who come forward about him.
Yeah,
you hired Liz Smith, you're gonna have to deal with the fact that she's gonna be a bitch.
That documentary with her helping out Pete Buttigieg's 2020 campaign is so crazy when she realizes that like Pete Buttigieg is basically like a robot, and she's like trying to run debate lines with him again, and it's like she's like trying to elicit, she's like screaming at him from the stands or whatever. I don't know, that documentary was strange, and he's like that you can watch Chasten or whatever, like his husband, like you can watch him realize in real time in that documentary that like
what's his name, Chasten Buttigieg?
Chasten, like you realize in real time like Pete Buttigieg is like a robot, like has no like human emotions, and like I don't know, and it's like you can watch like the future leave his eyes in real time multiple times in that documentary. It's crazy.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just so weird that like shout out to Spencer, who I share his videos all the time. It's like he's not a physician, but yet in the article like he technically is, on paper and the label, yes he is, but because he's actually never used it in the specific field where it would matter to be a physician or MD, it doesn't matter. It's like,
well, basically what you have to do to become like a physician, right? You have to do, you have to get the degree, and then you do a residency, and then and then for a certain amount of time, and then you basically go into private practice, or you work at a hospital or go to public practice. He has both like a generalized, like I think medical degree, and he also has like the higher one to become like a surgeon essentially, but he didn't do either one.
He could retire and just but it's just so funny. It's like, guys, it's like when I took behavioral health, that's like technically like the umbrella for like psychology. I could have been a psychologist, a psychiatrist, a social worker, or this or that. Like I can't believe we have to nitpick college degrees now and what they mean and what they're about.
Well, because
it's like a career.
It's funny that we're like in the most we're like in one of the most like anti-intellectual periods, I feel like.
And liberals are falling for it.
Where it's like, everyone's talking about like, oh, the elite, like, oh, we're not, I like everyone wants to be, make themselves look like they're not part of the elite, even though they are, because they're already in the ruling class of this country. They're ruling the country. So it's like everybody wants to like kind of put on this image of being like either working class or like like a man of the people or populist or whatever. And it's like at the same time though, everyone's nitpicking in these races like, oh, is this actually a doctor? Is this actually a physician? Can you call yourself that? And it's like that's the most fucking elite level conversation that I could possibly think of. It's like
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's like when people are like, well, actually AOC is CIA, not a bartender. And I'm like, oh my God, people, what are we doing here? At
the same time, you hear like like some of her biggest critics that will play populist all the time, be like, "Yo, AOC, go make me a drink and shut the fuck up." And it's like, okay, well, you can do one or the other. Like,
so that too raw, too real guy. He's like, here's the thing. Now I'm noticing that some of these, those like content creators that we all know and love, who have like the same cadence. Like you could tell when a leftist person sells out to like conservatives or like liberal, organizations. There's either anti-woke or they're just punching left or whatever. We know, and they all sound the same. Now a lot of them are warming up to AOC because of this Marjorie Taylor Greene thing, because they know that she probably would be the favorite to run in 2028 against Marco Rubio. I don't know how he's a viable popular choice.
It's Rubio.
Marco Rubio, little Marco. I mean, Marco Rubio versus AOC. It's gonna be like the most 2012 type of like election ever. It's gonna be interesting. Like I can't wait. I cannot wait. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Marco.
I don't think they're gonna be enthusiastic about Marco Rubio.
I don't know. I also don't think
the base is not gonna be enthusiastic for anyone once Trump is gone.
Yeah, I think it's hard to also see them as enthusiastic about JD Vance, but I don't know. But JD Vance, there's like a list of it feels like there's a list of people who have like I don't know if it's as much JD Vance, but like conservative. I think it's bot farms a lot of times, but like there's certain people that like in conservative circles that like they either are name searching them or like it's a bot kind of thing. Like if you criticize that person, like all of a sudden you get like a bunch of people with numbers and in their names like yelling at you on your post or whatever that you've never heard of before.
Hassan, I know the feeling.
but it's like one of those like Riley Gaines, like if you made a Riley Gaines post for a while, which she was being like astroturfed the fuck out of, and people actually like caught people actually like building like boosting her career. She actually has like backers and stuff that were trying to find a person who had this this kind of backstory, which they could only really find someone that came in fourth place, which is funny, but had a backstory of being an athlete. That because there aren't that many trans athletes, and they wanted to put that issue front and center, and like who they could really find to go after trans athletes that was another like college or high school athlete was like somebody that came in fourth.
Yeah, it's just kind of crazy that no one comes up to her and be like, "Didn't you also lose to 3 cisgendered women? You're not mad about that. You still would have lost even if Leah Thomas wasn't even there."
But there's been reporting that the same people that kind of were trying to build up Riley Gaines actually were going behind the scenes to the other people who raced Leah Thomas.
Yeah. And they were like, "Nah, I'm good."
Yeah, a lot of them were like, "No, we have solidarity with this is like a small sport, and it's like we don't really have an interest in." Like she came in fourth. Like she's not like if she came in first, like maybe, but it's like But the only person that could really find
I would be like, okay,
like a conservative background, and they were trying to build her into like a kind of a Fox News personality, and it kind of crashed and burned because she's
and also too, a lot of people are like, why is she? But like she's been trans-investigated because people every Olympics we go through the same discourse like, why are these girls so flat-chested and skinny and built like petite boys? And I'm like, because that's the figure they need for the specific sport. Most gymnasts are like 4'10". Like I don't. You guys have been watching the Olympics for how many decades now? You should know the build. Jenna Marbles did a whole video about this. Like it's the bra, it's this, it's the build, it's that. I could not do. Sports.
Well,
I'm sorry, these begin in the way.
people are talking about like having like a genetic advantage, and it's like someone that has a genetic advantage over the people that they're racing, like Michael Phelps. Yeah, and swimming.
He had webbed feet and hands and had a lactic acid breakdown that could make him like he was born. He should have been a merman.
Yeah, I really should have. But like as someone that like I mean, I was a swimmer in high school for like at least for the first 2 years. I was a swimmer when I was a kid. I was always a swimmer. I always fucking really liked swimming. Not fast at doing it, but I wish I was. But like I love swimming, and I love competing in swimming. And even though I would feel like I was gonna throw up before I did it, but but it it's like there's certain people with like a certain body type that it's like you can already tell they're gonna be fast. It's like a massive it's like a small like like the muscular legs, but then also like a small body, and then a big upper like part like this where you can really get your arms across.
Like if you have like my sister, she did Little League for boys because softball really wasn't a thing when you were a child. So she learned how to play baseball, and she had to kind of teach herself how to play softball down here because it's like there's no baseball for girls, it's just softball. But she has like I have short torso but long legs, so that's like good for like some basketball, but also volleyball apparently. But like I'm not athletic, but she has like my dad's long torso and short limbs, which is also pretty good athletic build. And she's like 5'7", so that's a good athletic build for like basketball and softball. But you know, I even like her having trans athletes in her basketball and softball teams in middle school warmed her up to the realization, like, oh, they also suck just like my other girls who are cis. I'm like, yeah, it's not like they have an advantage at all. They can't because they're on the puberty blockers. They're not going through HRT yet. You know, it's like, and she didn't even know.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I don't know, like my brother was like, you know, as like a little kid, he was always small, and then one day he fucking shot up. And he's like
my sister knows all of a sudden all the boys were better than her once they hit puberty. I'm like, yeah, puberty does kind of slow a girl down athletically.
My brother's like either 6'6" or 6'7". Like he's 6'7". No, but he's so fucking tall, and he really liked basketball when he was like a tiny kid, and then all of a sudden he was like great at playing.
He's no longer, you know, yeah. He's no longer who's
running, it's swim for it. But I also did running. I did cross country the first 2 years I was in. So, but
they really wanted me to do volleyball because I was really good at spiking, and I'm like, I'm not a sports guy. I'm doing my theater. I'm doing my choir. That's my. They were like, oh, your sister, you know that last name, and I'm like, yeah, I'm nothing like her though. So don't try to put me on a sports team. I'm like, let me sweat to Richard Simmons, sweating to the oldies. Like, that's what I do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I kind of stopped doing everything once I was like a sophomore in high school. Like, I was kind of done with it. But I did. I mean, I don't know. I did not like running. I did not like running long distances. And I signed up, and I was like, I'm one of those people that like, if I sign up for something, I'm like, I'm not gonna quit doing it, like for the season or whatever. But after that, I was like, I'm not. It's like 3 miles, and it's like every weekend, and it's like, this sucks.
Yeah, I remember one time we had like, I don't know if you had it,
but like, I started smoking, so I really couldn't do it anyway.
But like in school, we had this thing called end of course testing, which was not the same as like pack testing. It was a whole other thing where there would be like 3-hour blocks of like certain classes. So like if I had like psychology, we're watching Inception, we're watching a movie, right? And I'm just doing whatever. But like one day we had like a 3-hour gym block, and I was like, kill me. But my coach was like, do whatever. You guys can go outside on the track field. You know, you want to, do your aerobics or whatever, do, just whatever activities, just to keep us occupied because gym for 3 hours is a nightmare for me. Yeah. But like the guys were also out there, they're running, and they fucking like one guy like just ran into me. Like I had like whiplash. I was like, whoa, like it was bad. I'm like, excuse me, are you blind? Did you not see me? I'm like 150 pounds. I'm here, I fucking hate basketball day because the guys are just acting like they're the fucking, the dream team of the 80s and 90s. I'm like, slow down there, Pippen, Jordan.
By the way, at the time when I was like 14, I started smoking cigarettes, but then I was, done other things. But
my mom was 12, and I'm like,
no, we had
never smoked cigarettes.
Two of our three. I think 2, or I guess maybe we had 4, but like 2 of our 3 gym coaches in high school had gotten DWIs. So I could always, in my head, I was always like, I bet these motherfuckers are hungover right now. They don't want to work too hard.
Yeah, the one, like, you can tell probably the one who just does, like, because weightlifting was the thing. I'm like, that one obviously probably was able to get away with just being hungover because it's just like, all right, do your push-ups, your warm-ups, and then you go to the, lift the weights.
Many kids these days will retire from high school sports or they become podcasters. I was ahead of the game.
Podcasters. I keep telling my sister she would do well with a sports podcast.
I was ahead of the game because number one, I was doing I didn't know anything about sports, and it was so funny. I was doing sports casting for a little bit because I was like in all like the AV kind of clubs. So like I was like trying to learn how to do all this stuff. So like I would do color commentary, and they'd be like, they've gotten the ball and they're moving the ball up the field. But then
oh my God,
I started doing radio New Paltz. Like I would me and my friend Mike Sarah had like our own radio show on like the school radio. They would censor the fuck out of us too, and it was every once in a while they'd have somebody listen to it, and they'd be like, "You guys said what?"
Well, it's so funny too because my favorite type of sports commentary is like, oh, there's a cat on the field. Oh, look at that little guy. Oh, he's scared. I see it on TikTok, and I'm like, someone just free to get the cat off the field because it's like 10 minutes of like them doing sports commentary. Like, wow, what a jump! Wow, he's up high. And I'm like, you know what? This is the sports commentary that I love when there's like a random like cat or something like
and the cat's going up the field. Oh, he's moving past. Oh, look at that. The cat's going up and he's going up. Oh, and the cat's got it. The cat's got the goal.
Yeah, seriously. Like it was a TikTok I saw recently, and I'm like, oh man, this is and the poor cat's like so like scared because it's like, you know, everyone's like, wow. And I'm like, shut up, guys. The cat's so freaking scared. He doesn't know where he's at. You know, they finally got it out.
Like they were doing the sports commentary kind of stuff where they like, I don't know. I was mostly trying to learn how to use
the puppy bowl. What are we doing?
I was mostly trying to learn how to use all the equipment because I was so interested in it, which is crazy that I ended up actually doing stuff with like some of that knowledge. But I was like trying to learn how to use the equipment, and it's like, but they needed people to do like the sports guys thing. Then they put this thing on like public access, and it's like, you guys are putting this fucking bullshit on public access.
No, that's kind of the point.
But it's like, I don't know. I didn't know what the fuck I was saying.
See, like growing up, again, I was in choir and like drama and theater and whatever. We did performing stuff. We did like a thing of Grease, and I was like, I remember looking at the set list. I'm like, "Where's Rizzo's song?" They're like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Why does one girl get a solo for Beauty School Dropout? I want to do Rizzo's song." And they're like,
"You want to do Lizzo's song?"
Yeah. There were worse things I could do, but they're like, "Oh, okay, Christina." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm an alto. I can sing." That was always the worst part of choirs. Like, there's no boys, but there's like 2 or 3 altos. You know, girls who could sing low, and they're like, Christina. We had the music arranged so that it's like, you know, soprano 1, soprano 2, alto, and then bass. Can you do the bass? And I'm like,
boom, boom, boom.
Like, because one time we did ABBA, we did Take a Chance on Me, and I'm like, take a chance, take a chance, take a chance, take a chance. And I'm the only one who's doing that. And I'm like, you have to put me like near like a microphone so I could be heard above all these like sopranos, okay? And my choir teacher was like, okay. I'm like, I'm telling you.
You gotta be heard over Tony, you gotta be heard over Carmela, AJ, Meadow.
Yeah.
Uncle June.
Yeah. I liked it though when we did like classic, because I remember one time for the entire year, just for fun, we practiced Somebody to Love, because I feel like Queen is a good rock band to sing to as like a choir, just because of the layering of like the vocals of Brian and Roger and Freddie, obviously. And so we sucked at the beginning of the year, right? But then by the end, like we were good. We were so good. Like the harmonies, just like, oh, it was so good. I was like, yeah.
Wait, Stevie says in 8th grade we had a Texas speech troll read the lunch menu. One day we had the troll fall down and start having a seizure. A bunch of kindergarten started freaking out and crying. We did morning announcements, and like there was like a
TV. We all had to play the TV. It was so funny.
Yeah, we had like a school TV station, and whenever a lot of times I would get to school late and I would miss it, but when I didn't get to school late, I would like help out with it and sometimes do like the weather. Yeah. Which again, did not like, they would just be like, oh, this is gonna be the weather, and I'd be like, well, the weather forecast, I guess rain. It's like,
I loved it because the thing is, growing up, we watch art, like we sit there and I'm just glued to the TV watching Arthur until it's like, oh, 7:30 morning announcements, and I'm like, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I just always liked being like the guy that reads stuff. Like,
yeah, I remember.
I was like, you want me to look here at the camera? Don't mind if I do.
Yeah. I always like when we got to read plays in like English, and it's like, oh yeah, let's say we read The Birds and then we watched the movie. But like, I was one of those people where it's like, oh, I don't sound like I'm reading from something. Like I have a little bit of like personality when I'm reading the lines of the play when we're, you know, in English class. And it's funny, like they're like, are you like in drama or whatever? I'm like, yes. Because it's like, oh my God.
Days I remember reading like The Crucible.
Yeah, what is it? English 3? That's what it. That was the year we read it. And we watched it.
English, I don't know. It was just an English class. I remember reading
English 4 was when we did like British literature, and I wanted to do Wuthering Heights so bad because my English teacher hated the novel and never read it because of Heathcliff's dirty fingernails. But then I was stuck doing Pride and Prejudice. Never read the book. Never read Cliff Notes. I just found some quotes to go along because she kind of gave all of us our own thesis statements, so that was easy. And she doesn't believe in giving out 100s, but I made the highest of a 99 because I listened to her.
I fucking hate when teachers were like, I don't believe in hundreds. It's like, bitch.
I know. It's like, oh, anyway.
Like,
because it's so funny because getting a 99 can lower your grade by like 3 points, and then like having a 70 the grading system is so weird. And it was funny because like
there's a kind of news channel for schools. See, that's going too far with it. I feel like you gotta make your local
individual
kids, your local kids do it.
And it was funny because two guys. One guy did Animal Farm, and the other one did 1984. And I'm like, getting into politics, as I was taking government at the time, and my teacher was very much like a Marxist or whatever. And I was like, "Do you understand George Orwell? Do you understand these?" And they're like, "No." And I'm like, "Yeah, you're not politically engaged. You're not going to understand any of this." So
I remember thinking 1984 was like mad deep. I remember reading it and being like, "Oh shit, that's like the government's taking control, man."
Yeah. And then a year later, because she also was the drama teacher, because she really liked me, because I always listened to her. She's like, "Christina has the highest grade in class. What are you guys doing wrong?" And I'm like, "I'm doing right, apparently." I'm a little nervous. What? And then like a year later, I think Les Mis went to theaters, and so ironically, I was sitting next to her, and she's like, "I want to tell you something." And she's like, "What do you?" I'm like, "How you always say, like, you just pull stuff out of your butt and make it work, and you do well." She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Well, I did that with my English paper." And she's like, "I taught you well." I'm like, "I did not read any Pride and Prejudice. I mean, I read the manuscript of like different like theses and all the information, but like I didn't even read a wig of that novel."
Well, do you see the Trump team in China? It seems like Trump's not trying to have his Nixon in China moment, because I saw like the White House account like posting "You've all been waiting for this," and it's like,
what? No, you haven't. Hassan, you need to have your, oh man, poor Hassan. He's over here. He's meeting Gabor Mate, though. He's hanging out with
the Chinese
Aaron's
guard,
dad right now.
Military or whatever in front of everything, and then they have like the Trump team march out, and it's like they're all watching. I'm not a crook.
Yeah,
but this is like they're marching out and everyone's watching them, and it's like a million fucking Chinese people, and it's like, I don't know, it just seems like, and then they like they instantly put the video on the White House account, and it's like, "We're in China," and it's like, all right, well, have fun, I guess.
Yeah, the less I hear from Trump, the better, because it like he does some weird stuff, like that one video where he's like, "I'm just," and I'm like, "Please don't do that in front of the kids." Yeah. Why?
I like when he goes.
Or then he's like, looks like he's giving like the mic a blowjob. I'm like, there are children here. You people are saying that trans people, drag queens, or your president that you do at rallies where you bring your children to is doing blowjobs. Like, what are we doing? What's going on?
What is going on?
I gotta think that's a soundbite for my Twitch channel, because that's just funny as hell.
I keep thinking because I guess it's pretty funny, but I keep thinking that's the goal, or that's the plan.
That's the rule.
I gotta now I want to watch not that, but I want to watch Do Not Come because
I'm gonna come.
Right. Do Not Come.
Some of this I miss Obama, because he was actually just cool, I don't know.
Biden said, "Come."
Do not come. Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
God, man, it's just I understand where liberals come from, where they're like, "I want to return to normalcy." I'm like, no, I don't. Not when it comes to like ignoring bad shit. I'm like, I want a president I don't want to hear about 24/7 doing something stupid or perverted or ridiculous or petty. You know what I'm saying? Like, AOC 2028, y'all, let's do this.
The first couple years, like the first year, I guess, of Biden, before Ukraine happened, and before Gaza happened, obviously, and like, all of a sudden, like the first year of Biden, it was nice to like not to have to turn on the TV every single fucking day and hear like, "Oh, here's
some gray hairs, some wrinkles."
But it's like, and then everything kind of went to hell after that. But it's like, there was like I wish it was just kind of stated that. And it's like, it's nice not hearing about what like a bunch of new shit that's like horrifying.
That's why Trump, like when we haven't heard from Trump in a few days, he has to do something, like say something stupid that gets us like and so many liberals like, "You can't ignore the shit Trump says." I'm like, but here's the problem though. He purposely wants to trigger the limbs. So yes, there are gonna be times where we're gonna ignore stupid shit, offensive shit, mean shitty shit. Because if I was one of these reporters, I'd be like, show me some fucking respect. I don't care you're the president of the United States. I'm asking you a question. You can't even answer it.
Yeah, well, I think
what are you talking about, sir?
I think that like I really hope Democrats use this as like a thing.
Yeah, the whole "I don't care about Americans' finances."
Yeah, this clip. I feel like if Democrats were smart, they would throw this into every like midterm message from
with
now
like
on.
A black and white with red text. Like I'd say, like make it look like scary.
When you're negotiating with Iran, Mr. President, to what extent are Americans' financial situations
not even a little bit. The only thing that matters when I'm talking about Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about American financial situation. I don't think about anybody. I think about one thing. We cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. That's all. That's the only thing that matters.
Which I'm sure, like, you know, every Trump fan will be like, well, yeah, this like he's thinking about winning.
On his plane. You know, we should be the last thing on his mind.
He literally just say he doesn't give a fuck about you. He doesn't give a fuck about your
well, how many
finances.
times does he have to say it? Like, the dude is still close to say, I do not give a flying fuck about any of you. And they're still gonna be like, well, I mean,
he meant the reporters.
Yeah, like, it's just funny. Like, he literally said, he knows his focus was up. He's like, I don't know how many times he has to say. Maybe he has to say, I do not care about you at all.
If only China could keep Orange Man, it could be our gift to them. I mean, it would be funny if you got out of the plane in China and they like threw him in a prison, and it's like, oh, I guess we never have to see Trump again. Like, he brought the whole squad with him too. It's very funny that he brings like the whole team with him now everywhere, because it's like, dude, if people are actually trying to kill you, like, you should probably leave at least some of them at home to like run things in case something happens. Like, they're like, no, we're gonna bring every single person in the cabinet. We're bringing RFK Jr. with us. We're bringing Scott Bessent with us.
We're gonna bring J.D. Vance with us too.
We're even bringing Cash Patel, even though we won't fire him. I love the manifesto that the last person said.
I want it, except for Cash Patel. I'm like, what did he know? What? I'm like, you mean to tell me that the head of the FBI, who's supposed to like oversee like all the Epstein stuff, is someone you don't want to target? That was weird. That's why I'm like, something's up with that. That's just
or at least the manifesto part. But he's also been accused a bunch of times of like fabricating, like whether or not the assassinations actually happened, right? Like both fabricating the memos and fabricating like the actual like the bullets that have the things on them, like the writing on them. So it's like it's very funny to have this thing be like, except Cash Patel, and it's like, well, if you think that he's faking the fucking manifestos, what, like, that's gonna make everyone think he's faking the manifestos even more.
Yeah.
Because you just wrote like, except the guy that fakes the manifestos. I think he's A-okay. I think we should let that guy be. That guy's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Probably is. He probably is one of the cooler members of the Trump administration. He's drinking all the time. He doesn't give a fuck. He's at the club in Las Vegas. Like he's leaving his FBI. He's leaving his FBI credentials at the bar or like at the strip club, and like he leaves again, and then he's like, "Oh fuck, I forgot my FBI credentials." He has to come back and get them. Yeah.
I forgot to mention on Monday I'm going to be on the afternoon too to talk about the Michael movie, so that should be interesting.
Oh, so it's 1 minute before we get off. On Tuesday on Movie Night Extravaganza, YouTube.com/Movie Night Extravaganza, we are having Adam McKay on to talk about Over the Edge. Yeah. Which apparently is not Over the Hedge. I was wrong.
If you guys haven't seen it, it's on Tubi, available to watch, by the way.
Yeah, Over the Edge is on Tubi. It's like a 70s movie, coming
Matt Dillon's film debut.
Yeah, so we're gonna be talking about that, and then the following week, I think we're doing I Love Boosters, and then we're starting to do Blockbuster
with Bruce Riley. We don't know yet. I don't know.
He never answered. I tried. He said DM me, so I DM'd him, and he didn't answer.
I hate people that are like that. Just do it again. Be like, yo, we're going over your movie.
Yeah. Well, Carly tried to get him on his YouTube channel, and he didn't answer.
Oh, if you got Boots Riley, maybe he could get us in contact with Melissa Barrera. Ooh.
We got to get in contact with everyone. But YouTube.com/Movie Night Extravaganza. We are going to be there on Tuesday for the rest of the week. I guess I'm off. I don't have to be.
I'm going to be doing my stream on the Twitch.
Yeah, so go follow her, Cosmopolitics. We will be back next week, same time, same place. This one on the Absurdity Space.
Bye.